Hi everybody, it's me Rylan. It is Tuesday, February 27th, 2018 at 11:20 p.m. and it has been kind of a hot minute since I've made a video. Just because I've been busy living my life for once in my life. Of course the lighting is just the worst. And that made things even worse. Okay, so yes, I have not made a video in a while, or at least a substantial one. I think I made like a quick tea update where I was like, my hair is growing in faster. So yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about something serious today. Y'all know that watch my channel, I don't pre-plan my videos. I don't think about what I'm gonna say. I just kind of word vomit camera and post on the internet for all to see. So I don't know what I'm gonna reveal. I don't know how much I want to talk about this. This could literally be a 3-minute video, or maybe it'll be 10. I don't know. But basically it is NEDA's Eating Disorder Awareness Week. February, what is it, 26th through whatever the fuck the end of the week is. I'm not good at math. And NEDA is the National Eating Disorder Awareness Association. And this is a really important week for me. Every year that it comes around, I'm always really observant of it. And it's always like, I don't know, it's just really important for me to like acknowledge the impact of eating disorders and how prevalent they are in not just American culture, like literally the entire world. Like everyone all over the place is affected by eating disorders. And I don't talk about this, have not. Maybe I've mentioned it when I've listed all of my diagnoses, but I've never actually talked about my struggles with eating disorders. And I honestly, in this moment, don't really feel comfortable doing it. But I will just say some facts is that I have struggled with an eating disorder for 12 years. I also have body dysmorphic disorder, which basically means that literally your view of yourself and what you see in the mirror is not what the rest of the world sees, that your view is skewed, and sometimes people fixate on certain body parts. Like some people might really fixate on their nose and believe that they need a nose job or other stuff like that. Do some research. Yeah, it's a thing. It's called body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD. So yeah, I've struggled since I don't know, I remember really starting to become like aware of my weight and shit like that when I was in 3rd grade, but like I didn't start like acting on anything until I was in high school. But like I said, I am not comfortable talking about this. Talking about self-harm and how I used to cut myself, totally cool. Eating disorders, not so much. Not right now anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video and say that my biggest thing with eating disorders, and I guess why I want to make this video, is there's such a stigma. There's a lot of stigmas about eating disorders, but the one that bothers me the most is that, well, there's 2 of them. But the first one that I was going to say is that you have to look a certain way to have an eating disorder. But then number 2 I was going to say is that men have eating disorders as well. In America, there are 30 million Americans that struggle with eating disorders. 10 million of those people are males. That's a lot of people. And then from a transgender point of view, 16% of people that are 16% of people that are transgender struggle with eating disorders. So these are prevalent. Age, shape, color, race, doesn't matter. These fuckers are here, and anorexia is has the most fatal mortality, it's the same thing, fatal rate for death of like a mental disease. And what I want to say is my biggest pet peeve is that people believe that you have to look a certain way in order to be struggling with an eating disorder. And that is so motherfucking wrong that it blows my mind that we are living in a world, in a society that believes that eating disorders are a skinny white girl who, maybe has like collarbones visible and very thin legs and thin arms and stuff like that. That's not what eating disorders look like. Eating disorders can be the man at your coffee shop who happens to be a little overweight, or it can be that 16-year-old girl that has brown hair and looks very healthy and is extraordinarily muscular, or it can be your teacher or your fucking doctor or anybody. These affect anybody and everybody, and it's just really frustrating to think that you have to be this skinny person in order to struggle with eating disorders. First of all, the only eating disorder that exists is not anorexia. There's also obviously bulimia, but BED, binge eating disorder, that is an eating disorder. There's something called diabulimia, where people that have diabetes don't take their insulin in order to not get enough calories. There's something called orthorexia, where you are obsessed with eating healthy. There's something called pica, in which people eat non-food objects such as maybe paper or glue sticks or soap or something like that. There's so many different kinds of eating disorders, and I just really hate that there's such a vision in people's minds of what it looks like to be struggling with such a life-threatening, mind-consuming, whole body fucking mental illness. It's really sad. And like, weight loss is a symptom of having an eating disorder. Like I said, you don't have to be thin. Binge eating disorder is an eating disorder. So people that might be very overweight or even obese, that's an eating disorder. But for some reason, we stigmatize these people and say that they're fat, they're lazy, they're whatever. No, maybe this person is actually struggling with a mental illness that causes them to struggle with food and overeat or whatever. And I really wish we could get rid of that fucking idea. I think it's really detrimental, because what it does is it causes people that don't fit the typical look of an eating disorder to maybe not get help, because they think maybe they're not sick enough to get help because they're not 98 pounds and posting on Twitter Thinspiration and Fitspo. Maybe the mom that has been restricting calories but walks every day and looks normal, doesn't believe that she needs help because her hair isn't falling out or she still has her period. It's really isolating, and I think that needs to stop, and that people need to start doing research, or at least open their fucking minds to realizing that having an eating disorder does not look a certain way. People would look at me and not assume that I've struggled with shit for 12 years. You know what I mean? Not everyone is easily identifiable as struggling with something as serious as an eating disorder. And then finally, yes, men have eating disorders. Oh my God. It's just as common as women, but it doesn't get talked about, and it's stigmatized and it's judged, and men are thought of as being weak or gay or whatever. That's not fair. Mental illness does not segregate. It affects everyone, and I am so proud of the men that have come forward and talked about the fact that they struggle with eating disorders. I know 3 people in my life, 3 men that struggle with eating disorders, and I mean, they're not posting on Facebook and making videos on YouTube, but they're open with it to the point that I'm aware of it. And I just think that that's really brave to stand in the face of what is usually labeled as a women's disorder and say that they are struggling with something. Now, that's not to say that if you are a male or identify as male watching this video and you are struggling, that you're weak for not saying anything about it. That's not the truth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's such a negative outlook on men that struggle with eating disorders. And I think, again, it's extremely detrimental, and it's not fair, because it lessens the struggle of how severe these illnesses can be and how much they can really fuck up your life. So that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, if you're watching this and you're struggling, just know that you were put on this earth to do more than count calories or worry about food or exercise. Know that you are worth so much more than that, and that you are worthy of love and happiness. And regardless of whatever trauma, regardless of who said what to you, you matter and you're perfect the way that you are. And if you are struggling, please get help. You don't have to live your life feeling horrible about yourself. And I can say personally, from my point of view, I'm not being a hypocrite. I am in therapy. I've been in therapy since I was 16 years old, addressing the issues that I have with eating. So this isn't coming from like a feel good about yourself. Like, I'm talking to you as someone that might be struggling along with you. Recovery is extraordinarily difficult, and it is an uphill journey. I said in a Facebook post yesterday, I think it's like climbing up a mountain that is covered in rocks. Because you keep getting, you might make some progress and then like you slip. And that's okay. That's what addiction and recovery is like, but it is possible, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. You're not weak. There's nothing wrong with you, but tell someone, talk to someone about it. And, hopefully you can begin your path to recovery, because like I said, you're not on this earth to be miserable and to worry about how many calories is in a French fry. You're worth so much more than that. So hang in there, fellow warriors. And yeah, I love all of you, and thank you guys so much for watching my video. All right, bye.